Hello Battletech fans, this is Travis with Renegade HPG, opening a box of Counterstrike, a little bit of retro Battletech trading card game box opening. Gosh, this would be 23 years in the making, right? Since this thing was made and it's been sitting on somebody's shelves, but I was very lucky to kind of pick it up on eBay for super cheap recently, and also picked up a couple boxes of the limited and opened that up in a previous video. So if you haven't watched that, definitely check it out. But I've been kind of sitting on this Counter-Strike one to get another good video for you guys opening up, so you can kind of enjoy this kind of flashback nostalgia with me as I kind of break open some packs. This is actually going to be my first set, or first opportunity to add Counter-Strike to my newest collection, because I had let go kind of my old cards about a year and a half ago, and I'm kind of rebuilding from scratch. So I'm super pumped, I'm super excited. Counter-Strike, not the favorite expansion for the Battletech trading card game, but there are some solid cards in there, and if nothing else, it'll be fun as hell to open it up and check out at least the art, because there's some cool stuff in there. All right, so I'll cut in, you guys can kind of follow along, and let's open up some packs of cards. All right, let's dive in. So yeah, if you didn't catch my last video, I was opening a sealed box of the limited, and I actually got super lucky on eBay. I found kind of a little lot that was very poorly described, which actually just had a picture of one limited booster for a price that was appropriate for that, and then but there were some other pictures of other stuff in there, so I emailed the guy and it's like, hey, what's included in this? And he said, oh, there was actually 2 boosters and a Counter-Strike booster and some spare cards and some starters, so I dove right on that. So I was hoping nobody else noticed that, noticed the auction, so I could get it. But yeah, so I was lucky to grab that. But let's dive in. All right, pack number 1. So yeah, if you guys haven't catch it, I just launched this channel recently, and I just actually earlier today posted the first longer video, the non-opening video, that was a podcast that I did with 2 of the guys that are heavily involved in the Battletech TCG community, and it was actually a 3.5-hour podcast, and we just talked for an hour kind of about the history of the game and the legacy of the game, and then we dove into deck building tactics, talked about individual cards and the meta for like 2.5 hours after that. So I'll link it up there in the white box that pops up, but check it out for sure. All right, let's dive in. So yeah, this set doesn't get a ton of love, from the community, but there's a couple good ones in here, and certainly the card art is always awesome to kind of appreciate and enjoy. Yeah, I wonder what the rare, I think maybe this last one is the rare card. Charger. I'll cut real quick and check that out actually. All right, so we're looking at 3 uncommons here, and the last card is the rare. So yeah, the Charger is the rare. Interesting to make the Charger the rare. Maybe it's just that mod. Charger's pretty common mech in the lore. All right, that's 1 down. So I mentioned this in the last video, but I've played a lot of games, kind of card games off and on, but never kind of dived in as much as I'd like to definitely be diving into Battletech here. But played Destiny a bit last year. A lot of drafting. Good art on these things. But I've never actually purchased a full box of boosters, and so between the last video and this one is my first time really diving in and kind of having that special joy of opening an entire pack. Oh, this is weird. Oh, there we go. Tactical Nuke. Ryokan. Not bad. Over to Alper Strike 2, we in that podcast video where we're talking about the tactics, a lot of interesting insights and discussion there. into things like Overheat and Alpha Strike, and a lot of talk about kind of how the original game designers kind of priced the cards, and kind of the reason and the background for why Swarm decks really tend to kind of thrive, you know, in the Battletech meta, and just kind of like a little error. One of my guests, Michael, had described it as kind of the original sin of Battletech the card game, as just kind of you know, so each card basically gets 5 free points, and then you pay for every point above that, and so there's an advantage. There's diminishing return, you know, as you start to pay more and more for a card in terms of what you get for what you're paying for. It's interesting. Is he uncommon? Oh, that's odd. So he's the rare, and this is uncommon. So it's kind of changed up from the last pack. Oh, that's interesting. Kind of a little not consistent from pack to pack. I wonder if that's a normal thing or if that's just an anomaly. But anyway, in that podcast conversation, you know, Michael was essentially talking about how the cards are costed, and how you know, that 5 free points that you get when you're deploying anything essentially gives you an advantage to putting a lot of free stuff out, because you're just getting more and more of that taking advantage of that 5-point free cost. Getting a lot of these vicious kicks. This is a surprisingly small set of cards, Counterstrike. I think there's only 99 cards in this set. Oh, I like that art. Oh, that's cool. Not a horrible mix, but... Sentinel, that's another card we talked about. 0 cost. I think Chester, the other guest, was talking about how somebody had... that personality's still coming in early. So now we're 3rd to last? Alright, this is just flat out weird. You know, so I've had the last card, the second to last card, and the 3rd to last card be the rare. That's very odd. But anyway, the Sentinel, about how somebody had, when the set first came out, and before they had put that kind of 6-card limit out, somebody had brought a 60-card deck, you know, of Sentinels, you know, and I think didn't get quite full intel. I think it was more of a kind of legend than an actual recount of a story, but I don't know how that actually would have fared. But maybe that's something to try playing online. Throw that deck together and see how it lasts. It'd be helpful to definitely try to get more. Ooh, you can hear a little bit of July 4th fireworks in the background there. Crap, man, I like that art. That is some pretty sweet art. Veteran officer. That's pretty decent art too. Now there we go. So that's, we talked about a lot. Superior navigation. Play only when blocked, choose a mech, roll a die, 1 to 2 draw a card, 3 to 4 that mechs get +4, 5 to 6 that mechs get +4, and untaps at the end of the current mission. So, you know, all good benefits and some extremely good. So that's probably one of the best cards in this set. That's a sweet rare to pick up. But anyway, yeah, so 99 cards in this set. Not a huge set. And I think there's only 32, something like that, rares in the set. So there's definitely, if you get lucky, you can basically pull an entire complete set out of one box. I'm certainly hoping for that today. Adam Steiner, that's another card. You know, kind of mixed opinions on that. I think, you know, that conversation, Chester was all for Adam Steiner, but Michael was a little bit against it. But I liked, man, I like these arts. You know, I was kind of, when the game first came out, I was pretty ambivalent about the art, and now we're in the 4th one from the end on this. This is so weird. I was kind of ambivalent, and actually not a huge fan of the art of the game when it first came out, and fairly critical of it for a while, but there's some good ones in there. And when I first collected this back in the 90s, I think I had only had, you know, 2 or 3 starters and maybe a couple boosters, and hadn't really played much beyond Counterstrike, because there was just nobody that was playing with me. That's nice colors. This card I imagine is junk, but actually I don't know. I mean, most of these command cards that give resources aren't very super helpful, but I like that art. Overrun, we talked about that card a bit. A little bit too situational, maybe, but if you can get it to work, that would be awesome. Or A, that's I think that's a sweet mech. 2 costs for 4 attack.
Spider. I love playing Spider on tabletop. So fast, so hard to hit. Quick salvage. Alright, that's a fourth one from the back. That's uncommon. Recon Pilot is uncommon. Annihilator, that's maybe the rare? Yep, that's the rare. So second from the back. So man, these are just all over the place in terms of where the rare is. That's so weird. I love the look of the Annihilator. I wish that it had made it into the recent Kickstarter, but man, there's some pretty awesome stuff coming out from that. Hopefully this video gets lots of views into the future, and that Kickstarter's already come out, and Battletech's, you know, seeing its big resurgence. But as of right now, in July, it's actually July 4th, but girlfriend's working. All our plans are for tomorrow, so I'm kind of here. I thought I'd celebrate it with a pack opening. Common, no quarter. Sweetheart. The Catapult. That should be a rare, you know, if you go with lore. I guess not, you know, if you're oh, there's a solid card. I think double time out. Scrap double time offense when it's revealed. Activate only during your missions phase. Untap 1 mech for every 2 construction counters above cost of double overtime. There's some use there. Good art. And you know, opening these packs is fun, but I almost enjoy sorting them all out and putting them in the card binder as much. Got these two here. This blue one here is it's already been earmarked for Counterstrike. Okay, there's a new one. I haven't seen that one yet. A lot of Blood Kanarinski starter version. This is, I think this is was ranked in our conversation as one of the worst cards in the game. Grasshopper, that's a solid mech on the tabletop. Commando, ooh, 0 cost is always going to be good. With munitions though, 0 cost for 2 with an armor, that's not bad. Black Mark, that's a solid card. So limited, we talked about best card being Warrior. So that's the rare, but I think this is definitely the most valuable card in the thing. Black Market Connections. So scrap 2 cards from your hand, put 1 card in your scrap heap into your hand. Use this ability only, so you can search your scrap heap, pick any card in there. We were talking about the how amazing Melissa Steiner-Davian was from the limited, and how she's basically kind of a must kill if she pops out on the tabletop, and Black Market Connections is kind of like a poor man's Melissa Steiner-Davian. So certainly any opportunity to kind of search your scrap heap and pick any card you want to bring back into the game, that's solid. Centurion was my favorite mech back in the day. I still love it. I love that old sculpt of it. You know, kind of the side shooter. Got Guillotine. That may be the rare. King Crab. Look at that beast. Maybe I'm just thinking about limited guillotine. Actually, limited guillotine is rare. King Crab. King Crab is the rare in this one. That is a mech you don't want to see on tabletop. Not a great card in the game though. I mean, you get Alpha Strike +4. You're paying for the Alpha Strike, and Alpha Strike isn't really something that you want to be using on a regular basis. So, not the best in the game. Of course, what do I know? I'm all a noob at this. Just getting back in. But yeah, when I first picked up, just, you know, people were playing Magic and they weren't playing Battletech. Actually, most of my early exposure to Battletech when I was young was just reading through the novels. You know, I love the lore. I mean, the lore of Battletech is amazing. Oh, there's a duplicate. Dashery. Not a great mech. I don't think. Yeah, 0 for 1. You're paying for it. Take it or leave it. But yeah, most of my kind of immersion into Battletech when I was young was in the novels, and because there weren't many people around me that played. Played a lot of Star Wars, the CCG, Star Trek, the CCG. But yeah, just not as much Battletech. And then when I went off to college, there was zero people, and started to focus on other stuff. So put it aside. But the my cards and my gameplay survived many years. Puma D. I like that art. Hopefully you guys can kind of see the art, you know, through the video. But yeah, my Battletech stuff survived through the years. Always loved it. Had my novels, kept them in good shape. Though they did get a little close encounter with some rodents in the attic on one of my moves. Those got replaced. But yeah, when I was young, I mean, I was, you know, it was about scraping up a couple dollars so I can maybe buy a pack every week or two. But it's a good thing about being a grown-up into gaming is you got money to spend. And that I have been doing. Picking it up. Kickstarter for sure. And if you guys come in after Kickstarter, you know, fortunately been able to get all that product without having to wait for it, but I think it's been worth the wait. Or it's gonna be worth the wait. Alright, there we go. Ilkan. Not a great card for play, but certainly a very good character in the lore. Yeah, that lore, man. I grew up reading Stackpole and Charette. Stackpole was a longtime favorite author of mine, but man, going back and reading the books and just how amazing Robert Charette's book is. Wolves on the Border, by far my favorite Battletech novel. Just incredible writing, great storytelling. Heir of the Dragon was it took a little bit to follow. I mean, it covered such a huge time period. And I keep seeing that Bright Pilot in that Kentaro. Oh, this is almost like an exact duplicate. I think that Gladiator D might be my my rare there. But yeah, Wolves on the Border. What an incredible novel. And been rereading through the novels. I think I'm up. I just finished Assumption of Risk. So getting through. People are assassinating everyone back and forth. Speak of the devil. There's your rare. Daishi. Overheat 6 for +4. Debatable. Take it or leave it. Yeah, if the game could just be tweaked and kind of things recosted and whatnot, just so that larger mechs are a little bit more viable. I mean, that'd be awesome. I'd love to be able to kind of, you know, play kind of more variety, or just kind of play more of a heavy hitting Steiner-esque kind of deck. See, I haven't seen the Blackhawk yet. The uncommon for the Chancellor. I think we've seen that a lot. I think Berserker Warrior is probably the rare there. Yep. It is. Boy, Renegade HPG podcast. So hopefully you guys are listening or watching this video into the future, because more and more people are kind of finding the trading card game. But you know, head over to the Facebook group. So Battletech TCG on Facebook. Check that out. You know, there's a trade and sell page too. Blockade, there's the rare. Put 3 counters on blockade. When is activated, remove an operation counter from this card at the beginning of your turn. When the last operation counter has been removed, scrap blockade. Opponent scraps 3 cards at the beginning of his or her turn. And ooh, ouch. Yeah, I could see how that, you know, if you got a game, certainly that's a kind of a stalemate interrupter. I wouldn't say a stalemate breaker, but you know, nobody wants to be taking damage to their stockpile over the long term. By the way, yeah, find those Facebook groups if you guys haven't already. There's a great community there, a lot of resources in the announcement page. So so click in there, kind of read through a lot of documents in terms of deck building, basic tactics. There's a great interview with Richard Garfield in there. Oh, another Daishi. Man, pronunciation in Battletech universe, because so much of it written. I've always pronounced that Daishi when I'm reading it, but who knows? Daishi, Leo, Davian, Steiner, Kurita, Leo. Those are my pronunciations. Who knows if they're right or not? What we need to answer that is an Battletech HBO series. Then I'll pronounce it however they do it in a series. Man, I keep seeing that. Below the Pass. That's probably the rare. I haven't seen that one yet. Yep, that one was the rare. Oh man, can you imagine HBO series, Battletech universe? Shoot, just started maybe like 3020. Somewhere around there. Or you can start earlier. No, 3020. Pretty exciting timeline. They can always fast forward to Clan Invasion, but it'd be a little bit more awkward to go backwards. If they want to go backwards, they can do a spin-off series. Another Gladiator D. Oh, there's the Ryan Steiner. That guy played with fire a little bit too much. Man, that chapter in is it? Yeah, it was Assumption of Risk. Yeah, that chapter in Assumption of Risk where basically Michael Stackpole spends an entire chapter describing how the bullet leaves the assassin's gun, travels the distance, and then impacts, I won't say poor Mr. Ryan Steiner there, because he kind of had it coming, but basically eviscerates his head. But it was funny, I was reading that, when I first read that as a kid, I remember it kind of striking me. There's a rare, not a great card, but cool little art. But yeah, when I read that chapter as a kid, man, I was just blown away by the detail of that chapter. It was such awesome writing. I mean, Michael Stackpole is such a great writer for Battletech. But yeah, and then when I was reading through that novel, now as an adult, it was this like huge wave of deja vu reading it of when I started that chapter and realized what was going on. But just kind of remembering back to when I was a kid and when I first read that and how impactful just the writing of that chapter was. Man, I could get these all day. Man, I just love that art. Check that out. And if it doesn't show up on the video, I'll throw an extra graphic of that up. No quarter. I haven't seen that one. That might be the rare. Yep. Yeah, trend continues, man. The rares are all over the place in this. No telling which card it is. Love the sound of that pack opening. I'm sure you guys can hear that. Another Daishi. Probably put that one up on eBay. I don't know too many decks that are gonna benefit from multiples of those. Yeah, man, eBay's hit or miss. You know, there's certainly people that charge a premium for the cards, and I'm sure kind of if the Battletech as a whole kind of surge in popularity, then, and this pack doesn't want to open, then that's only going to increase, and, you know, hopefully, I mean, if this channel kind of picks up, and certainly these videos that I've been making for the card game take off, that might drive a little bit of popularity, and unfortunately some prices as well. But to each his own, it's the market. But yeah, definitely head over if you're not a part of the Battletech TCG trade and sell page. Accelerate, haven't seen that one. I don't think we've seen bait and switch yet in the opening. But yeah, that trade and sell page, great community there. Really a fun community. All the Battletech Facebook groups. You know, I'm part of a lot of Star Wars Facebook groups, especially their trade and sell page. But man, talk about toxic. I mean, granted, there's a lot more people, you know, a lot more diverse people in the not, I said Star Trek, I meant Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe, and certainly the Disney movies have been divisive. I'm not a huge fan myself. Though the most recent, the Clone Wars, holy cow, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars last season, absolutely amazing Star Wars. Definitely the best Disney Star Wars in my opinion so far. Hopefully that is limited to when I publish this video, and that changes in the future, and they start to kind of figure out that tell better stories, man. Invest in the characters. Special effects are awesome, but they're not the driving factor. Another black market. I could use a couple of those. I want more superior navigations. Keep giving me that rare. This is almost like an exact duplicate of the last pack. Oh boy. Yeah, let's just fingers crossed. Let's try and get at least one more superior navigation coming out of this box. But anyway, yeah, Disney. We're talking about Star Wars. Let's get back to Battletech. Battletech series on HBO. That'd be amazing. Trapped, I haven't seen that yet. That might be the rare. That's an uncommon. Yeah, pretty sure all these other ones are uncommon, so Trapped would be the rare. Getting close to the end. Got a few more packs here. So there we go. Another black market. That's what I like. Getting some decent cards in there. The Charger, not the best. Got missiles in there. We talked about missiles in the podcast a lot too. How they're just not the best way to go with the game. Great for recreational play, you know, but competitive play not so much. You know what I'd like to see if the guys do is just there isn't actually a link in one of those podcasts, not the one I published today, but one I'll publish in about a week. That'll have like suggested errata and stuff. Bombardier, that's probably the rare. 0? That's horrible. Oh, this card's horrible. I'm guessing that's the rare. Battletech, oh, the Assassination may be rare. Nope, Assassination not the rare, it's the Bombardier. Oh, yeah, Battletech. Battletech is so funny because, you know, most of the best cards are not the rares, you know, and a lot of the rares are just absolute crap. The Zero Attack Mech with just missiles is not a great option for putting in your deck. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. More experienced players can kind of chime in the comments. Speaking of the comments, yeah, guys, you know, let me know. What's your favorite art in these? I think that crab is my favorite. Ooh, that's a sweet looking card. Orbital Bombardment. Man, there's something just kind of viscerally terrifying. Viscerally is the right word. Viscerally terrifying about the idea of warships and just being on a planet and just being obliterated from afar. I mean, it's more or less the same kind of fear of nuclear weapons. Maybe not. I don't know, because nuclear weapons, there's a drawback to using them, the long term, the fallout, but orbital bombardment, I mean, there's no drawback to just throwing some heavy ammunition, you know, or naval energy weapons down. So, you know, kind of, I think it's scarier. Any weapon that doesn't have a huge drawback for the user is going to be pretty scary. That's why guns are more scary than knives. Tons of that earthworks. Tons of thorns. I've probably got a couple. Oh, little interruption there. Hopefully we didn't lose anything. Or not much. Yeah, last pack, Blitzkrieg, if that did cut off, was the rare. There we go. Wishes fulfilled. Superior navigation. Got 2 of them. Alright, so we got at least 2 of the best card in the set. Debatably, best card in the set. Probably the best card in the set. Alright, 2 more. Enjoy the crinkle. It's about to end. Alright, give me one more superior now. That would be amazing. Favorite art. Good send-off. 0 cost Sentinel, yeah, I just need like 40, 50 more of those and I can run that 60 Sentinel deck. That'd be awesome. Hip Shatter, I think that's the rare. I I don't think that's a very good card. Maybe I'm wrong. And we're on the last pack here, and I am actually not going to open this. Let's do something a little special with this. Let's do a little giveaway for anybody who puts a comment down below. Let's see what's your favorite card art from this set. And if you have a favorite card for play, put that in there as well. But assuming that there's people watching this that haven't played before, anyone can appreciate the art on some of these cards. Mine is definitely that crab. Let's find that real quick. There it is. That's my favorite. But yeah, if you agree with that or you got another favorite art from the Counterstrike set, put a comment down below. Certainly if you have any kind of feedback for the channel, that would be awesome as well. But I'll pull a comment and I'll try to reach out to, I'll pick one randomly and I'll reach out, try to find a mailing address, and I'll drop this bad boy in the mail so that you guys can enjoy that sound of crinkling and opening and that fun of kind of opening a pack, a fresh pack for yourself for this awesome game. But
all right, guys, so there you go. Another box opening of Battletech, the trading card game. A little bit of retro fun, maybe about 23 years in the making. But yeah, you know, there's the devastation. I am very excited to kind of get all those cards in the binder and do a little organizing. And for sure, add at least a couple superior navigations to a deck or two. But otherwise, just enjoy playing the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check out that video with the podcast talking about how to play the game, the history of the game, tactics, strategy, great cards from all the different sets if you haven't found it already. And like this video if you enjoyed this little box opening. Subscribe to the channel if you want more good Battletech fun, and comment down below. Don't forget, comment with your favorite art so that you can get a chance to win a pack. All right, so I'll pick one of those randomly and reach out to whoever gets a winner. Let's say I'll wait a month. So first month, all right? So first month of comments, and then I'll pick someone and reach out. So, all right, take care, guys.